Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of an experiment called My Life. Oh my God, Finley, we already wrecked it. Welcome to another episode of an experiment called Life with Alex Mackenzie and my baby boy Finley. For those of you watching on YouTube, you can see me and Finley are here in where are we? I always want to say Jasper, but we're not. So we're in Mount Robson Provincial Park. It's a beautiful little campsite. We stayed here last night. We're making our way to Lethbridge right now. So last weekend we were in Kelowna. We did a show there, and then we're on our way to Lethbridge. Before though, Mount Robson, I believe this is the tallest peak of the Rocky Mountain range. It might just be in Canada. It probably is just Canada. It's probably bigger in America, because everything is bigger in America. Right, Finley? My boy. But yeah, it's pretty nice, man. It's pretty cool being out here. I love being outside. I don't know what it is, like when you're out here and you got that morning dew and the birds, you just feel a little creative, feel a little free, get away from it all. As I have a tripod set up with a camera and I'm filming a podcast, it's just nice to get away from technology and everything, you know what I mean? You fool. So yeah, last weekend in Kelowna at Dakota's Comedy Club, dude, super fun. One of the weirdest shows I've ever done in my career. It was, I'm in this weird point in my career right now that I've never been in before, because I just filmed my first stand-up comedy special. So that'll be coming out very soon, by the way, hopefully by the end of July. Yeah, so it's just that, like, I'm at a point where it's like you've burned your hour. So I'm still doing my old hour, but I've got to build a new hour now. So it's very exciting, where you're like, I just get to try stuff and figure it out and see what I want to do. And that last show, I really leaned into the crowd work, and it turned into like, it was just a sideshow. There was like very, very few jokes. I maybe did, I would say 7 to 10 minutes of stand-up in about a 50-minute set, maybe a little bit longer than that. And but I'd say overall it went very well, you know, like that's one thing I've learned a lot about comedy is like, it doesn't matter what I'm saying up there. The only thing that matters is how I'm making you feel. Like that's the whole shtick. It's just like you come to the show, I make you feel good. You leave feeling better than when you got there. I did my job. We all go home. So yeah, it was really good. I got to try a bunch of new bits, which was really fun. So it was like a lot of riffing just on premises. Like one of them that I'm very excited about, that I think is going to be very, very good. Where are you, Finley? Don't go too far. There's bears out here, man. Yeah, bears. It will literally rip your face off. The premise I'm very excited about, though, is I got stood up on a date again. This seems to be a very common thing that happens with me. I don't think it's me. I think it's probably just people in general with dating. But what happened? So I met this girl. She was very, very sweet. We went out on my parents' boat, which was very, very fun. And then I invited her on a date, and she was free Thursday. So I was like, okay, sweet. I'll book us in something for Thursday. Now, I always want to impress girls, so I always go to a fancy restaurant, like Mike Birbiglia says, so I can show them how much I can charge on my credit card. So I booked us in at the rotating restaurant in Vancouver. I think it's called like the Top of Vancouver. It's like, looks like almost like a Space Needle or something, and at the top the whole thing rotates and gives you a beautiful view of Vancouver. Now, I thought getting stood up was very, very like hurtful and painful. It happened to me multiple times in Australia. But it's a whole new level when it's a rotating restaurant. Because, dude, it's crazy. Because the thing about a rotating restaurant is only the outside rotates. The middle stays the same. So then when you're sitting on that outside rotating part and you're alone and you're like, you show up and you've got a bouquet of flowers and you're sitting in that spot, dude, you just become a zoo exhibit of the saddest man in the world. You're just sitting there holding these flowers as you rotate around people, and there's just nobody showing up. And they're all just like, if you would look out to your left, you will now see the saddest man in the world. And then of course it's all like giant floor to ceiling windows on the outside. So now even everyone in Vancouver is down there, is looking up at you. Not really looking up to you, but at you. and they're just like this rotating spectacle of sadness at the top of the city. Like, everyone, look at me and how lonely I am. Pretty fun, man. Pretty fun. So I think that's going to become a very, very good bit. And that's one of the best things about comedy. You can take something that's like painful and hurtful and then look at it through a comedic lens, and it makes you laugh about it. And I think that, like, I don't think there's any aspect of life that if you don't look at it through the lens of humor, it doesn't get better. Like, if you can laugh, it makes everything better. And so I don't know. I think that's my saving grace, if you will, that's going to help me get through all the things. Yeah. Also, I just think everything is funny. That's just something about me. I don't know. That's when I first started comedy. I thought I was going to be a good comedian, because I'm like, you know what? I think everything's funny. And then you realize that you probably shouldn't think everything is funny. And it's like, you should know what is funny. So figuring that out. But talking about the sadness thing, that's something, like loneliness, that is definitely the biggest thing on this pursuit. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that I'm going to get everything I ever wanted, and you're going to get to travel the world and perform in sold out theaters and arenas, and you're going to do all of that. But on the way there, this is pretty lonely, man. Like, I don't know the last time someone called me. Like, if I don't reach out to people, people don't reach out to me, which I think is probably a pretty general rule, right? It's probably not specific to me. Let me know in the comments, do people call you? But it's just when you're on an isolated pursuit. I guess normally, like, you have a work place, so you're like going to work and you at least have like that company that you kind of see those people. Or then you have like a play on like a sports team, like you used to play on a hockey team, so you'd always see those people, that type of thing. And then like it would kind of spin off from that, because the people you spent more time with would then spend more time with you. As where now it's like, I don't know, man, the only time people call me or answer my calls is if I have a booking for them. You know, it's like if I'm not paying people money, they're not hanging out. But I don't know, I guess that's just part of the game, part of the thing that you're doing. And I don't know, I talk to my mom a lot. My mom is like my main person. She helps me out a ton. But I've just also become way more family oriented as I've got older. Like now when I go home, like I just spent Father's Day back in Prince George with my family. And that's the thing, like when I'm at home now, I generally spend it with family. It's like I want to see my niece, I want to see my nephew, I want to see my brother and sister, mom and dad. So I spend a lot of time with them. And then I've got like a select few people that I'll try and reach out to and hang out with. But I guess that's just getting older. That's another bit I always wanted to write. Actually, I'm going to try to get on this next special. But it's about like, at what age do you lose all your friends? You know, because like I look at my parents and they just have no friends. They're just old and they have no friends. And you're like, they got a couple, but very, very few. But when I was a kid, like I just remember my birthday parties as a kid, you would have like, the whole class would show up. There'd be like 20 people. And then my parents would have their birthday party, like maybe fucking 2, you know? And you're like, man, my parents are losers, you know? So I was always like, at what age do you lose all your friends? Well, turns out it's 35. Because I just had my 35th birthday a couple months ago and nobody came. So that's just what happens, I think. I think I could make that into a bit eventually too. Something about that, like I always thought it was a funny idea, like the only way I could get all my friends together in one room, in one place, at one time now would be to fake my own death. Which is why I think funerals are so weird. It's like, why are we having the party of my dreams after I die? Like now everyone I love will get together. It's like maybe they all wanted to hang out with me, but they just wanted to know I wasn't going to talk. You know, is Alex going to be there? Great. Is he going to talk? Okay, moving on. What was the next thing? Oh yeah, we're going to Lethbridge this weekend. Actually, a bigger thing going on right now is we're launching the Hunger for Laughs comedy tour. So we have launched ticket sales in Vancouver right now. They're on sale. That's on the Vogue, October 13th. All the shows, we do have early bird pricing. So you can save, I think it's like $10 a ticket if you buy them now. And on top of that, for those of you watching at home and following along, we have a code LAUGH, L-A-U-G-H. That'll save you 25% off tickets on top of the early bird pricing. So I think you can save like a boatload of money, probably $20 off tickets if you buy them now. That coupon code I think only is going to last until the end of July. And the events that are launched right now are Vancouver and Vernon. I think we're working on getting Kamloops this week. Kelowna, Grand Prairie, Red Deer. Those should all be getting going very, very soon, as well as Prince George, my hometown, doing our first arena, the CN Center. But this weekend, we're up in Lethbridge. We're at Good Times Comedy Club. We're there 2 nights. We're there Friday, Saturday, June 23rd, 24th. I think that tickets are only $15. You can get them at alextellsjokes.com. For Hunger for Laughs, you guys, if you go to hungerforlaughs.com, you can check that out. See our amazing lineup where we got the Variety Act featuring Arissa Kelly, a foot archer. We got Wes Barker, a stunt magician. Then we got Ivan Decker, Simon King, and myself putting together a very well-rounded variety show. I believe it's the best show on the planet, man. Like, I don't think you see this show anywhere outside of Vegas. And even there, I think we beat 90% of the shows in Vegas. Except maybe those Cirque du Soleil guys doing all the flips and shit. But we got like more comedy and more variety. So maybe we got them, you know. I think we're going to take this thing to the moon. Anyway, that's been another episode of An Experiment Called Life. I really appreciate you guys listening to this. Tell your friends. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring the bell, whatever that means. I hear the kids are saying it. I love you guys. Take care, and we'll see you next week.